This week's fishing forecast is brought to you by Appearance Plus, detailing, waxing, and shrink wrapping.
Hi, this is Captain Al Lorenzetti for skimmeroutdoors.com, bringing you the weekend update and fishing report. This for the weekend of November 8th, 9th, and 10th. Weather first, going to be a big part of this weekend. It's a tough time of the year. It's going to blow northwest up to 30 miles an hour on Friday. I don't know, maybe you might be able to fish along the beach in the ocean, but this ocean is still up from a storm that passed by, the day before, so it's going to be like 3 to 5, but I don't know, we'll see about that. Saturday looks like the day. 10 to 15 out of the west, 2 to 3. So that would be the day I would figure on going. Sunday it's going to blow up again, westerly, which is tough to begin with, and it's going to be 15 to 20 and gusts to 25 by the afternoon, 3 to 5. So anyway, what's going on? The striped bass action is still happening. It looks like it's thinning out a little bit. The fish are getting a little bit scattered. The bite is early. On most days, it generally ends by 9:30 or 10 o'clock, and then after that, it's all bluefish. But, if you get on the right bunch and you move around, you watch your recorder, even without the birds showing, you mark some stuff down deep on the bottom. It might be some striped bass, and guys are still pulling fish throughout the day, but it's gotten tough later in the day. The bunker that we're around seemed to have disappeared. There's still a lot of bait, a lot of sand eels, so I think the jigging will continue until we get really, really bad weather and then things really chill out. I heard there's fish as far east as Shinnecock Inlet still coming down the beach, so I think we're going to have a good week to 2 weeks, at least 2 weeks of good fishing yet. And now I think we'll see some fish come up in the inside. The water's cleaned up a bunch, and maybe now's the time for some bait inside and plugs, and that may work too. So it's all pretty exciting. There are fish being caught inside. So, if you can find some bait, you get some spot, get some eels. When the water gets cold in November, eels work great. Daytime, night, whatever. So it's a good bait to have, and it's easy to get at your local tackle shop. Also, I want to mention that on Skimmer Outdoors and on the Fisherman website, Tim Smith and I did a piece on jigging techniques and action that we had out there on a day with Kevin Ryan on board. So you can check that out on the Fisherman's website or on Skimmer Outdoors. Other than the bass fishing, blackfish, I haven't done it recently. I've been on the bass, but guys who are blackfishing are doing very well. All the bridge columns are holding fish. The wrecks inside, all of the structure is working well because most people are striped bass fishing and not many are blackfishing. So there's a good amount of those fish around, and maybe now's the time to sneak out there and get in on it while you have a chance before the bass thing ends and then everybody's back on the blackfish. So that's it. It looks like a little tough weekend weather-wise. Be careful. I also heard scuttlebutt today that essentially our Coast Guard said that the inlet is not navigable, that they would not go out the inlet unless it was dire emergency, life and death, because they actually ran aground with a couple of their 25-foot boats in the inlet. So I haven't gotten to the bottom of that yet, and if anybody does know, whatever, maybe we can get some feedback on the website, Skimmer Outdoors, if you have information. And I'll try and contact the Coast Guard myself about that issue. But I've been using the east inlet, the one that was cut through last winter by the barge, the dredge that was in last winter. And I was out there one day. I was actually sea duck hunting, and the main inlet, the marked inlet, was not passable. There was a big swell, and it was white all across. But the east side, you could go out with no problem whatsoever. So be careful because it does get shallow. There's a shallow spot, a big boat. I don't know how big a boat you could pass through there, but you can only count on low tide on about 3 feet of water once you hit that shallow spot just before you break out. So it's dicey, and I'm not recommending it for everybody, but that's where I've been going, and it's been all right for me. So that's it for this week. Get out there, have a great time, catch them up, have fun.